He was stroking. Oh, yeah, so he was stroking my leg with his foot. So I just like pulled out of my pants and I just like ripped him because it's like pop, 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 pop. So now I ripped my pants while recording a podcast.
All right.
The things never end.
Nope.
Sorry you have to hear that again. Welcome to the Use Your Words podcast with my friends Paul and Josh and me, Aaron. So come on.
You're sorry that they had to hear that again? That is a great story.
That was man.
How many times have you ripped your pants down unconventional ways?
I know I've probably gone through at least 10 pairs of pants. Yeah. Just jumping over chairs, stupid stuff.
I said unconventional. Jumping over chairs, a lot of people tend to do that.
Well, I was just like crossing up over a chair, but it was like lower, so I shouldn't have. But just me lifting my leg was like, I was like, ugh! And then and I was out of school, and I had to stay there the rest of the night with ripped pants.
Didn't you also rip them at the skate park too?
Well, okay, but that's at a skate park. I don't remember what I would have done at the skate park, but I'm sure I have.
And you fell? Did you rip them? I think you ripped them.
I don't know which time.
Which time?
I said I've fallen a lot of times, so it's kind of
There's also the handlebars from your motorcycle.
Oh my gosh! Okay, yeah, there's that, and yeah.
If you think about it.
So. Anywho, welcome back for those that have, been listening. And if there's any new people, hello. Hopefully you'll enjoy this weird, odd, discussion that we have with, I don't know. It'll be something. But gosh dang, I'm trying to think of all the things that we're on or whatever.
Oh, all the platforms?
Yeah. I don't know.
Just so many, but the big ones are Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play.
Spoofy.
Yeah, as you call it, Spoofy. Those are the big ones. But, I mean, we're everywhere, and it's all on our Facebook page with all the links.
Yeah. And so today we have a certain topic that made me think of an example of myself already through this week. I borrowed Josh's truck for a couple days. Well, for a day.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah. And because I needed an oil change in my car, and for how the new cars are made, I don't want to deal with changing the oil on my own, at least for my model of car, because it's stupid.
Right.
Anywho, so yeah, I was driving Josh's car, and I was like, truck, not car. And I was thinking, I was like, I really want to get a truck now.
Oh my goodness.
So I figured that fit perfectly with what we're going to talk about today.
And that was going to be my question. So you said that you borrowed his vehicle. And I was like, so how many trucks are on your wish list?
Yeah. Well, see, it's either that or I was hanging out with a friend, and he's got a little Mazda 3 or something, the hatchback. And I've been looking at those, but it's just like,
you can fit the Mazda 3 probably in the back of the F-150.
Well, I know. But the new design for the 2019 design for the Mazda 3 is pretty cool looking. So
I'm just imagining the Mazda 3 in the trunk of the F-150, like a little Power Rangers vehicle. Go Power Rangers! As you're running around.
Drop it off. Hey, man, if you need a quick getaway, but the truck would be faster than the Mazda 3, so kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, but that little Mazda 3 could probably get in spots where the little truck, the truck
right.
couldn't.
And that was like one thing that I was at first. I was like, "Oh shoot!" Like I don't know how far I'm over on the other side because it just seems huge compared to what I drive currently. But
they are a little. The F-150s at least are a little bit wider, and they give you more of a bigger inside cab feel. But I think they're pretty close to the same size as what they've kind of always been.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't get a Ford anyway, but
yeah, I know you.
I want to get a truck now.
Your dad would disown you.
Well, I told him I was looking at a Mazda, and he's just like, no. I was like, oh.
Never parking in the driveway again.
Or at the house in
Apparently
general.
so. All right.
So, with that said, we're talking about consumerism today.
Yeah.
Uh,
But before we get into there,
what?
we have something.
Here's Eric's word of the week.
That scared me when his voice started coming in. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy sounding.
So your word this week, Mr. Johnson,
Oh no.
it's bruxism.
What?
Brockism?
Bruxism?
Sism.
Bruck?
BRUXISM. Use it in a sentence.
Bruxism. Why don't I don't know.
Give us a definition. Like, just off the top of your head, when you hear bruxism, what do you think it is?
Well, if let's just say I'm at work
Yeah.
and I was working on one of the machines and I had a major bruxism.
You had a major bruxism.
That
Yeah.
fits,
Alright.
doesn't it?
Huh?
Does that fit?
But I still don't know what a bruxism is. I'm just saying I had one. That could be terrible.
You could have. So a bruxism is a condition in which you grind, gnash, or clench your teeth.
What? Oh, well then, yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah. So
Bruxism.
yeah,
Where is that? Like, where did that come from?
I have no idea. It's a disease that is on the Mayo Clinic website and all that.
So it's where you clench, just like
You
was it like
grind,
grinding
gnash,
your teeth?
clench your teeth. Yep. There's an awake bruxism, so you do it when you're awake, or a sleep bruxism when you do it when you're asleep.
Huh? I had a friend that did that a lot. He'd grind his teeth a lot in his sleep. Dentist wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, my dentist isn't happy about that either. But
I mean, I play drums with my teeth, which probably isn't the greatest. My dad's gotten talked about that before too, because he does the same thing. Just kind of, and then plays rhythms with your teeth.
Oh.
I was
Yeah.
wondering. Okay, now I know.
See, for a second, I was feeling like you put a drumstick in your mouth and you hit your drum
Yes.
set?
I can't fit a drum set in my mouth.
No, you put the drumstick in your mouth and you hit your drum set.
Well, I was thinking I put the stick in my mouth and then it hit my drum set like in my mouth. Now
I think that's what you both were talking about, and you both just didn't understand that.
Okay, so yeah.
Anyways.
Bruxisms.
Anyway,
Yeah.
That's what bruxism is. There you go, Aaron.
Sweet.
There's your word of the week.
Wow. Well,
Remember, you brought this on yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
therefore, I'm going to run with it whenever I can. Not every week, though. Not every
Yeah.
week. I already promised you that.
So that'd be too much work for me in a week.
And we've had the last 2 weeks off on that. So there you go.
I guess it's just
It was time for it.
time to happen.
All right. So, Mr. Johnson, before we brought your word of the week into the foray here, we're
That's
we're
right.
talking about consumerism
Yeah.
and about your desire to buy a new vehicle,
Dude.
aka a truck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's knows be the next get something new and nicer but not needed, I guess. Just
That was going to be my next question. Do you need a vehicle now?
no, but I could sell my current one. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I was looking at the new Mazdas before driving Josh's truck,
Yeah.
wanting to get a truck. Wow.
Someone's drunk.
I was thinking about selling, obviously, my Acadia
Yeah.
but I would even sell the Harley.
What's
Who
wrong
are
with you?
And what happened to Aaron Johnson?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Are you getting out of riding? Like, are you just like losing that desire to ride?
ever since I feel like I've gotten rid of the Ducati.
You feel like there's no point in riding anymore.
Not that there's no point, it's just not as enjoyable. Like it's when I took the trip on my own on the Harley, I mean that was fun and comfortable compared
Okay.
to the Ducati, but it's just man, it just really brought some life to a ride,
Since we're talking about consumerism,
Yeah.
I think that is one way that Ducati will hook people. is the speed of their bikes.
Yeah, well, that's a huge thing that sells for them. It's just the exhilarating times you have on it. It's you've ridden the thing
I have.
when I had that, and you know how much you enjoyed it.
Oh my gosh, I had to put that thing down.
Yeah,
Literally, put it down.
he did a wheelie on my bike before I did.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wasn't even trying.
the
That's
yellow
the
one?
thing.
no, the red one.
The red one?
The-
okay.
12,
I was
99.
wondering because he bought the yellow one from you and then went and sold that.
Yeah. What a friend you are.
Well,
It was no longer your thing to worry about.
No, it wasn't.
and then I sold it to some guy who used to race them down in South Africa.
So at least he'll get a good use out of it.
Yeah. All right. So consumerism, sir.
Yeah. What about it?
What about it?
What do you
Oh,
wanna
there's
know?
a lot to talk about here. I know that makes you sad, doesn't it?
It does.
So when I'm saying consumerism here, I'm not talking about economics where we're talking like, the acquisitions of goods and services and increasing amounts, because you could go off on the economic terms and say, oh, okay, that's one way of looking at it, and the markets go with that. When I'm talking about consumerism, I'm talking about that desire, that want to buy the latest item, buy the newest item, have the luxury version of the item, be it a hotel, a vehicle, the airplane thing, whatever it ends up being. Just you want the best of the best. You're always upgrading, always doing that. And I have to admit, I am very guilty of this. When I fly for work, work buys my ticket, whatever it is, and then I always spend more money to go to first class or business class.
Yep.
The past couple of years, every year I've gotten a new phone. That didn't necessarily need it. I was just like, you know what? I like the new features, so I bought the new phone. When I went and bought, some equipment that I wanted, I got the quote unquote best of the best. When I got my Surface Book, I got the top tier of that.
You didn't shy off on that one.
That one was a pretty penny. That wasn't cheap in the slightest. Over $3,000 is not just a drop in the pan of money wise. So I am guilty of this. I am guilty of participating in this like everyone else in the world.
Oh, I see. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, me too, to a point.
Well, I think when we go someplace and you're like, I need the $300 plus a night hotel room.
It had a walk-in shower.
The walk-in shower was worth $300.
Yes.
Apparently.
It was a cool hotel.
The thing he didn't even use before going to the concert was worth $300.
What?
Wow.
Wait, no. Well, wait. Well, I did use it before I went to the concert.
On concert day?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
I took a shower before I left.
that's right. You just didn't brush your teeth.
Gosh. Okay. I brushed my teeth after it.
Yeah. But, that's when I'm talking about consumerism, that's what I'm talking about. And I think as a society, as a culture, we've kind of gone from this thing of, being kind of prosperous in America where we can buy stuff and buy the luxury items because maybe, we have enough money from regardless of the source, be it a job or a settlement or something like that, to the point of nothing is ever enough and we're always having to get the latest thing.
Now, I'm going to go off on it. I'm like you guys. I mean, everybody struggles with consumerism because a lot of it is psychological. Now, how do you make it look tastier than what it is to get somebody to buy it? So you were saying how, money and we can just kind of buy this stuff. On my aspect, the area where I have an issue with it is I'm on Steam. I like playing some games on Steam.
Okay.
So when I find something I like, I put it on my wish list. And I watch it go to about 50% or less.
Okay.
And that's when I get it.
Yeah.
So, there's ways of making something look really good. And then there's also ways of making something look really affordable. And that's another way they snag people.
Yeah. And I think another thing that's kind of going on right now as well, just kind of reading between the things, is that in all honesty, and this has kind of become true after, our last little recession we had in the US, credit and that is real easy to get. It is beyond easy to get.
Huh.
And so there was some articles. This one article is from 2012, but since then it's gone up even more. So back in 2012, Americans were spending on average $1.33 for every $1 they earned.
What? Oh, wow.
So, and more recent figures are saying it's closer to $1.50 now.
For every buck they make, they spend $1.50.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, that, and they're saying some of that is, since we had our last recession and kind of start coming out of that, credit has been very easy to get, like $500 credit card here, $500 store credit card here. And people are doing that. And then what they're doing is they're delaying paying like non-essential bills. So that way they can move money around from one area to another.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a mess.
Yeah. And they're saying about 52% of Americans are spending more than they earn.
I think I saw that somewhere.
Yep. 21% regularly have monthly expenses in excess of their income, and about 13.5 adjust their spending the following month to get their finances back on track. Only 13.5. That's not that many.
Jeez.
Man, I'm kind of curious to see if I were to like go over my budget and how much I spent, like especially over the summer. Well, okay, summer can't count because I wasn't working, but like just like previous to that, I'm curious as to how much was going out for me compared to how much I was taking in, especially with all the going to the Nash all the time.
Right.
I'm sure that took a crap ton out of me.
But they're just talking in general, society as a culture in America. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
We're not talking necessarily about you here, sir.
No, yeah,
But
I know.
We could use it as an example.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about
Average American.
Yeah, because money is just so. When I say money, I put that in quotes because credit is money that is loaned to you that you then have to pay back with interest.
Yes.
Dangerous. It is dangerous.
Very dangerous.
So why do people, and Josh kind of alluded to one of them, it was on sale, so it seemed a little, it seems a little more easy to fit into the budget. It's a little trick. But why do people spend so freaking much money?
Because it's fun.
Because it's
I enjoy going out and like, gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this now, but like I like going out and shopping.
So you subscribe to the shopping therapy.
Sure.
You know what that is, right?
No,
where you go out,
I don't.
spend money, buy something, make yourself feel good for a little bit.
Oh, no. I guess it depends on what I'm shopping for. Generally when I'm shopping for stuff, it's normally music stuff. So yeah, whenever I get something new with music, it's like sweet little uplifting time. And then I use it a couple times and I'm just like, oh, okay, what's next?
Okay. Josh, were you going to say something there?
It's, for me, something that I've identified with myself is ADD, it's not that I can't sit on one thing, is I can lose interest on things faster than I think most people can.
Uh-huh.
So for me, having something or things in which I can, go here, do some of this stuff, then go here, do some of that, then that, makes it seem like I don't get used to it. And that's how I kind of keep myself from getting bored and going after something newer.
Okay.
But just identifying myself over the years and doing leases and stuff, I just get bored with what I have if I have it too long. And therefore, that's where I kind of go, okay, well, what's the next new thing for me? So similar to what you were saying about you and your music stuff, where it's like a little high, like you get your you get all excited for getting this new toy, whatever it might be, and then you use it, and then it's just like, okay, well, the excitement's gone. Now it's just another piece of material sitting in the house or in the driveway or whatnot.
Yeah, you get that little rush from purchasing that new item. You get that little dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Dopamine. That keeps coming back. Noticing a thread here.
Very.
Because when you buy that thing, that little bit of excitement and all that hits in, and you get this nice little feedback reward system saying, hey, look, I just handed over some money, got this thing, and I'm excited for like 24 hours. And then, like Josh was saying, it now clutters up something else.
Right.
Are you going to say something else there, Joshy?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought you were pointing to say that you're going to say something.
But I was going to say, now I got another thought comes to my head. It's also something, very common thing with males is competition. So again, this is all going to resort back to psychology. And quite a bit of it will resort back to sociology too. But there is competition amongst males, and it's just a common thing.
Is it? I wouldn't say it's just over people in general, though.
Yeah, and you see that, the stereotypical, like, I'm saying stereotypical to be very obvious here, like the teenage high school cheerleader type,
Oh, no. Yeah.
Like I said, very, very stereotypical,
Yeah.
where they're always trying to be on top and everything. And
On point.
yeah.
Yeah. Man, for me, music has definitely been a competition thing. I feel like at times, mainly with one of our mutual friends that is musical.
Yeah.
One of the guys I'm in a band with, when he got his, what was it? Well, his amp. Oh, this like big Line 6 amp. I was like, whoa. I mean, now when I look at that thing, I'm like, why would you want that? Well, I can see why, but compared to what we have now, it's like not even worth it. But when he got the Line 6, I was like, shoot, I just have this little thing. I need to get something bigger, or I need to at least get something newer. But then when I'd get something newer, I was like, well, I got to up it up a little bit. And yeah. So, and almost that's, I would say that's why I kind of got the Ducati when talking about motorcycles, because I want to have a fast motorcycle. But yeah, and then he talked about getting the nice BMW. I'm like, well, shoot, it'd technically be faster than me. Maybe I'll just get the Kawasaki H2, and then I'll be faster than him. But that would have been stupid.
Okay, yeah,
I thought about it.
That would have been a really stupid investment.
It wouldn't be the first dumb one.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about you, though. No. I'm talking about me, too, So I have an infographic up here it's a website called Debt Roundup. So, they're talking about why people go into debt and all that. And some of the easy things that they talk about here about why there's overspending, why there's this consumerism type thing. People go into debt to get the latest item.
Yeah.
Exactly the one that you were just talking about. They don't put it as a competition. They say it as a sense of power.
Oh, okay.
Trying to make yourself feel, like you're this big, important person.
On top of the world.
You could spend and dole out this cash to get the bigger and better things.
Yeah. Kind of the game of King of the Hill.
Mm-hmm. The other one is to prove self-worth, that, hey, I can throw out this money and
look at me.
Yeah. The other one's like the sales. Can't say no to the sale. I mean, it's 50% off. Spending to feel good, that dopamine hit.
See, and I feel like also I'm a terrible person. Like if I'm kind of looking for something and I don't need it, if I start talking to some sort of salesperson, it's over for me. I'm just like, as you would say, I can't say no. Yep. I'm a yes man.
So what you're telling me is I need to get into sales at a music store. That's what I need to do is get into sales. Say, hey, Aaron, look what we just got in.
It's really worth it.
That leads right to the next one on their point list.
Dang it.
Giving in to temptation.
I'm just a great example.
The other one is lifestyle maintenance. Trying to maintain your sense of lifestyle, whatever. Okay. And then keeping up an image. Like, you're the motorcycle guy who likes to go fast, so therefore you must always have the fastest motorcycle. You're the car guy, so you always got to buy all these cars. you're the musician guy, so therefore you got to buy
Yes.
all these musical related items.
Gear and
I'm the tech guy. I
yes.
got to buy all this technology and all this other stuff.
Hey, that's fair. I mean, someone's got to do it, right?
But is that right? Is that a good use of resources?
If you can't pay for it, then no. If you can afford it,
Well, even if you can pay for it, is
Yeah.
it something that you should
I guess it depends on how, I don't know, how you act towards it. Like I don't know, like if you just can't live without it and need to, then it's like, okay, maybe there's a bit of a problem. But if it's like, I can do it. Like if you can't say no to something, then I would say it's an issue, I guess.
Now,
I
I
have
want
a
to
hard time saying.
I want to bring up something interesting. You just brought back some memories of when we would go out riding and stuff. You started off with a Sportster. You got into an accident with it.
Yeah.
Then you got a Super Glide. Then I came along a few years later, bought a Sportster myself,
Yeah.
and then you got the Ducati.
Oh.
Then you sold it to me. Then you got a newer Ducati.
Yeah.
Then you took the newer Ducati, the 1299, and the Super Glide. You took it in, and you got a
Road Glide,
which is a very nice bike,
It is a great. It's
very comfortable.
Yes.
And now for the most part, I can beat you. But
Easily.
in all honesty, I would do a swap. I would take your Road Glide over the Sportster. Like I would do a swap. You would be losing something, yes, but I'm not looking at it as a speed side. I'm looking at it as a comfort side. Now you look at things as niceness and speed. I'm more of comfort.
Well, I'm both. I just find the speed is a lot more exciting on the ride. I don't know. Like doing trips, I would much prefer my bike, which that's something I want to do more. But yeah, and then go to all the most top price hotels and the ones with the nicest walk-in showers.
I'll be good
and
staying at with
nice
a $70
towels.
hotel with a continental breakfast. That's what I'd be okay with.
Or I can't get a free breakfast. I have to pay for a nice breakfast.
Yeah, I know. We would have had to pay for the more expensive room on the higher floors to get the free breakfast. How sad is that?
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Where you have to tip the bag boy, just take your bags upstairs.
I was my own bag boy. I looked like, man, I did not belong in that hotel. Walking in my shorts and that torn up green Nike duffel bag. Then you got these other like more businessy people in their suits and everything.
I would say
fancy.
more businessy. You mean people in suits?
Yeah. Well, they look. I don't know. I always think of people that are dressed up in suits are like businessy people. I don't know.
But I mean, what I was getting at is a prime example of where we both have the things that sway us, and we both don't care for the opposing thing that much. So,
Right.
like you said, you would like speed. You would prefer speed.
Yes.
I would prefer comfort. But neither of us need both of those. You don't need speed, and I don't need comfort. I can live on the Sportster until it breaks down
I would like to see you go on a trip with me.
on the back of the Sportster.
No.
Oh,
Gosh, no.
I was gonna say.
No, like we'll have to go on a trip and you follow me being on the Road Glide, and we'll go for 7 to maybe 10 hours a day. I would love to see you do that on your Sportster.
Since I gotten the new seat, I might be able to pull it off.
Okay.
He'd be buying hemorrhoid cream every stop.
Yeah. Gotta get the best too.
I would say, if anything,
Can't
at that
slack off.
point, I'd probably get my handlebars readjusted.
Gotta get the nice handlebars.
Yeah, the good ones.
Yes.
You know,
Can't slack off.
yep, the ones that glow in the dark with LED lights
Mhm.
and
Don't get them started.
I really want to do that kind of stuff to my bike.
Oh, her
Just
aunt and
like
uncle
the
did.
lighting and stuff and the speakers. Man, I was looking at speakers for the bike to have new speakers put on,
yeah.
and
You can
Of
do them
course.
yourself.
well, no, I'm just the cost of getting them.
Oh.
It was like at least $1,000.
What?
Yeah.
So my question is, do you need those speakers, or will the current ones suffice?
I mean, the current ones kind of work. It's the only thing about the current ones is the bass. Like when you actually get going
Yeah.
and it tries to compete with that wind noise that you're
It
getting.
just doesn't work.
No.
Well, no, because the bass just like bottoms out and it's like, and it's just like, ugh. But so I mean, I could use new speakers.
Okay. So you could use those speakers.
But I don't need them, and I'm
But-
okay without them.
Okay, you said $1,000 just to get them, right?
Or is that top
Yeah.
of the line speakers?
That well, I mean, that was I think the nicest speakers that they had to offer.
So you could find something for $300, $400 range that would at least be able to get you the bass in the wind. Maybe.
I don't know.
And so
to
really
try
what
it.
it comes down to is in order to get that 1,000 out there for the speakers, you have to move money around from other things that either bills or be like, let me pull out my retirement.
Right? Yeah. I don't need to worry about that yet.
Yeah, because if you're pulling money out with stuff like that for speakers,
oh yeah. No, that's
guess
bad.
what? You're the person that is having the issues that's overspending.
I am.
Yeah.
No, I would just have to take it out of my other little spendings that I do outside of bills.
Now, the other option, too, and I
Yes.
don't have any data to support this, but
Uh-huh.
I feel like a lot of people don't look at what they have and see if there's anything they can eliminate to get something new. Have you ever thought about that? Is there anything that you might have that you could sell?
Oh yeah. Oh, I've definitely thought about that. There's a lot of things I could sell.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Right now, kind of the big thing that's kind of going around everywhere is minimalism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's that author
true.
out of Japan? She has a Netflix show, Mary Kondo or whatever.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
She's real popular right now, and she has like this show and all this about basically minimizing what you have in your house. And her whole thing is the less you have, the happier you'll be, which actually does have backing from psychology.
Really?
Yeah. So I have an article here I pulled up that there is a direct link between clutter and depression.
See, I was gonna say, thinking about like, for me wanting to like go, guess this is me going through my basement. Like if I could get a home of my own and move into it, and just bring the stuff be able to move in the stuff that I just like need,
Uh-huh.
and then when you get in the music side, the stuff that I want
Yeah.
in the house, like it'd be so much cleaner, so much nicer. And then especially if I set it up the way I want, because then like, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't take a lot to start making a clutter. And then when you see the clutter, it's just like, it's just more to worry about. It might
really
not
doesn't.
be a lot, but it's just annoying.
I say all it takes is one thing for you to set down that's not in the right spot for you to set down another thing and another and another, and then you look and in one day you could be back to cleaning up the whole basement.
Yeah, it's rough.
So, I mean, that's that whole thing that's going around right now. Just get rid of that stuff you don't need.
My sister was telling us about, sent us this like, I don't know, wow, why can't I think of what the things that you like to read all the time, and now I can't think of what it's called.
Articles?
Article, that's it. She sent an article to us, and it was about like cleaning and stuff, like getting rid of the clutter and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it was like, one of the things is like, if you come across something that I don't remember how much they said, if you use it a certain amount, just toss it, because you don't use it enough to where it really matters. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about that before.
I'll say for me, there'd be so many things I could just throw away then.
Yeah. And, and part of that might have been some stuff that you were buying just to buy,
Right.
back to
Just
your
to
little,
enjoy.
back to your little shopping therapy,
Right.
Well,
and like one thing, especially when it comes to music equipment for me, I'll buy something
yeah.
that's, I guess, really cool and convenient in one way, but then I feel like not too much longer, there's another thing that takes care of a different thing that would be cool, but then it also has like, it's like combined with other, I guess if you look at the Kemper that I have, getting that was just basically eliminates the need for me to have a guitar amp and all these pedals that I just bought not too long ago. So it's like I get excited about getting all these guitar pedals, and it's like, well, I got to get this for this thing and this for that thing. And then I see the Kemper, I'm like, well, this does like everything. So then I just move on to the next bigger thing. And
so instead of doing research up front, you're
like, oh, this would be great now. I could use this.
And you want to get that immediate happiness and result.
And then I come across something later, and I go, well, shoot, I could have just waited and got that and saved a few $100.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that's two things I think that society in general has issues with is not being educated about things and looking at the next thing that makes it easier for them.
Okay.
So your Kemper does everything for you. Not saying that you're being lazy with it or anything like that, but it's just one thing that might hook somebody to go, hey, I don't have to carry my pedals around anymore. I don't have to carry around all this extra stuff. Is I literally put down the footboard, put what I want, on these little pedals, because there are pedals on the footboard, and that's how you select your amp and everything that goes with it.
Right.
And so it's a lot easier to set up, less stuff to carry around.
Yes.
And it does everything.
Although our mutual friend is sad that you don't have your pedal or don't use your pedals, so he can't borrow them anymore.
Well, I mean, that would be all the time where he could borrow them.
Yeah, I know. But now if you start doing this minimalistic lifestyle, right, and started getting rid of stuff you don't use anymore.
Oh, dang. Yeah. He was telling me, he's like, just hold on to your reverb pedal for me. I'm like, okay. But I feel like I don't want to get rid of them, mainly because I have that other amp. And if I don't have my Kemper,
right,
I get it. Do that. But I don't know. Yeah. What do you got, Josh? You stroking the...
I'm going to say when we were doing the estate sale for my uncle's place, we were going through, and my dad was like, hey, you use this? Oh, yeah, I use that. When's the last time you used it? 2 months ago? Are you going to need it again going into this assisted living? Oh, yeah, I'll use it for something.
I'll use it for something.
Making an excuse.
Doing what? Putting, nails in the wall to hang up pictures? We're not going to be doing electrical work there. They'll do that for you.
Right, but, yeah, I don't think a place would want you doing their electrical work for them.
No.
Probably not. My dad did some of the electrical in my house. Oh, boy. Things need to be fixed. Sorry, Dad.
But it is one thing where, people get something and they develop this attachment to it, even if they only use it once. And being able to disconnect themselves from that attachment so they can get rid of it, that's a challenge on top of itself.
Yeah.
Even if it's taking up space, even if they sell it, they could get a lot of money to get this new thing they want. It's just this attachment thing to material items it's weird that we have it.
It's that fear of maybe I'll need it again for something. And we make all these things in our head that say, yeah, maybe I'll need it for this. And in reality, we're never going to touch it again.
Right.
But one thing that you can use, Aaron.
What can I use?
To justify buying a truck.
Oh, my goodness.
Is when you have a truck, you won't need a truck. But when you don't have a truck, you're probably going to need a truck.
What?
Full disclosure here, Josh works for a car dealership and is probably looking to make a little extra cash.
No. Well, I'm just saying, like, Paul needs to pick something big up. Paul needs to, he might want to move. Okay, what does he have to do? Can't pull a trailer with his Prius. He can't load big items in his Prius.
Yeah.
And he'd have to pay to get a U-Haul truck.
Which would be cheaper than buying a pickup truck to haul stuff.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're not helping my case.
I'm hurting your sales, but...
He's just telling the truth. That is the truth.
Well, yes, but depending on what people do, it makes sense.
For me, I would be one of those guys like, I could use a truck every so often.
Yeah, but would you want your drum set out in the cold of the bed of the truck?
Well, no, I would just get a cover for it.
Okay. That's
could
going to
get a
keep it
cap.
warm enough?
Yeah. What?
That'll keep it warm enough? Instead of in the nice warmth of the Acadia?
I would say the Acadia would probably on average is warmer than what just that little cold little metal shell of the trunk
exactly.
would be, bed. Gosh, I'm getting all these things.
We can call it a trunk.
I was gonna say, depending on what truck you get, what size of the cab you get, the back halves of the cabs on F-150s or pretty much any truck these days are big and spacious. So you do have room to put a drum set back there.
I'm not
Truck talk with Josh.
I'm just saying.
If anybody.
So yeah, let's bring this back in here and stay. Yeah, we do buy, as Johnson was saying, maybe a lot of stuff, too much stuff at times. There's this article here. It says in the U.S., right, it says we bear 3% of the world's children. That's not that much.
What?
3% of the world's children. We give birth to 3% of the world's children, population-wise.
That's like nothing.
But we buy 40% of the world's toys.
Yes.
Holy cow.
An average child will accumulate 238 toys by the time they're 10 years old. They will probably only play with about 12 of them.
Okay, so you do that, right? So that child from the get-go is learning to have just this massive amount of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they grow up to be Aaron's age and like, I'm just going to buy every pedal under the sun.
I need this, I need that, and I want this.
Yeah. And what does that do to your bank account?
It drains it pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Depending on what you're looking at.
Yeah. Well, even if you're looking at cheap stuff, I mean,
that
you
would
start
add up
buying
to
like tons and tons of pedals.
big amounts. It goes quickly.
It just drains your account and bye-bye to your account.
But that was my account this summer. And I saw something that shocked me. In the average American home, there are 300,000 items.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
What is
That's you think
how
they're
crazy are
counting
you
each
getting?
individual fork, they're counting each individual like
Yeah.
spoon, knife,
Well,
plate.
Okay, because I'm thinking, I have guitar amp. What about each little screw that goes
No,
in?
no,
Okay, I was
no.
like,
Guitar
do
amp
they
is
get that in depth?
Guitar amp is one item.
Okay, that's one item. Okay.
But each fork, each spoon is its own
Yes.
thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know if they're counting the food in the fridge.
Oh.
I don't know if they're counting that. Probably not. But, you got your towels, your washcloths, your soaps, your toothpaste, toothbrushes. For a single person, it's probably not going to be that high. But you got a family of 4?
Oh, it would be. That would be easy.
That's ridiculous, the amount of things that would be floating around in that place.
I'm going to say on MarketWatch.com, they said as of 2015, American parents spend on average $233,000 on child costs from birth until the age of 17.
Woo! I don't want to
Not
know
including college.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't want to know how expensive I've been.
Now, it probably fluctuates depending on your income, but
Well, yeah.
still,
I
that's
would-
a lot.
That being the average, that's quite a bit of money.
Yeah. And you look at other stuff. This is from Market Watch again, 2017. A typical American's budget, right? For the month, 33% spent on housing, 16% on transportation, 13% on food, 11% on pension and insurance, 8% on healthcare, 7% other, so that's your miscellaneous spending stuff, 5% entertainment, and 3% apparel and services. And that's, quite a bit of money, and you kind of look at that and you're like, housing is taking up all that. And
Right.
yet we're spending this much stuff on maybe things that we don't need. That's literally robbing potential future
Yeah.
retirement money.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing I saw, which was interesting, 25% of people who have 2-car garages don't have space to park their cars.
Huh.
I mean, that's not a huge number, I guess, but
No, but that tells you how cluttered the garages are with other things.
yeah. And I mean, I was thinking about our garage. I mean, there was a ton of junk in there. I mean, that's didn't mean to disrespect my cutlass, but that was that was one big thing that took up a lot of space in the garage, especially since it wasn't running.
Right.
But then just all this other stuff that my dad has collected mainly, just like we have 3 or so like big like kind of industrial desks in there.
Yep.
And he got them. Well, I don't know if they were free or what, but he took them. Didn't have a need for them, but he's just like, hey, this would be good to have. Maybe we'll be able to use it. So he's just collected all this stuff that, we could maybe use, but are we going to use? Probably not. Just throwing more junk on top of it to make, I don't know.
Yeah, and it comes back to that, have you used in the past couple months thing?
Yeah.
If you haven't.
Yeah. That hasn't, it's only been a shelf in the garage to hold other junk that we get.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not needed, really. So if you guys want like a desk or something,
I'm good with the desk.
Oh, okay. Josh, do you need one?
Unless it's like a corner desk, then I'll take it.
No, it's just like a big metal, like.
Yeah, where am I going to put that in my apartment?
I don't know.
Okay, come on.
I'm looking at like used corner desks, so I'll pass too.
So apparently Josh hasn't learned the lesson yet here. He still wants to spend a ton of money and buy and acquire new things.
No. It doesn't have to be new. It can be old, slightly used, and you touch it up.
I'm not saying like new as in new. I'm talking like new as in new to you.
There's nothing wrong with new to you.
But you're still adding more stuff.
Am I eliminating stuff at the same time?
Are you?
I don't know.
I would probably get rid of the desk that's in my room right now.
He won't.
That or
You'll
my
find
brother might
another
take
use.
it.
You'll find another use for it.
It'll become a shelf.
Yes.
And he'll put an elf on it. Then therefore he'll have elf on the shelf.
All he would have to do is stand on it.
No, that's gnome on a shelf.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I'll give you that.
So
wait, wouldn't that be worse?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
So what are some things, I guess, that you could say to combat this consumerism? What are things that we can do besides, we've already kind of talked a little bit about minimalizing, reducing down some of that stuff that we don't need, realizing and maybe stopping and thinking about, hey, I'm about to purchase this. Do I really need this? Is this really going to add to me? And maybe stopping and doing a little research before actually pulling the trigger.
Yeah. Man.
Maybe trying to find a way how you can reuse something that you currently have or make it more appealing to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you could do some of that. One of the things that I was reading was people, they've been doing studies on this for the past few years because they're starting to realize now that this is becoming more and more of a problem. There's such thing as shopping addiction. So, that's a thing now. But they're saying, you know what? Instead of, if you're going to spend your money, on buying something or whatnot, instead of buying that desk, instead of buying that whatever, purchase an experience instead. So go on that trip, go on that, excursion or whatever. Because what happens when you're buying stuff, a lot of time what happens, from their studies is like, okay, let's go back to the motorcycle example. Yay. Okay, where you are buying it and you're thinking, oh, he has a BMW or whatever. I need to buy something to be faster, right? Yes. You're always going to compare those things because you can easily compare items one to another. Okay?
Okay.
And you're always going to try to one-up him or her or whomever.
Right.
But if you go on a trip, like when we went to see Classic Crime down Dallas.
Yeah.
You can't really compare that to another trip. Those are personalized experiences. You can't really go with someone else. And all of a sudden, it's no longer this whole trying to one-up them. It's, hey, we had a fun trip here. You had a fun trip. Let's share the experiences back and forth.
Interesting.
And they're going over some of the stuff in here and, some of the things like, pre-trip, you have the pre-trip fun of planning, whatever, the trip, and then the post-trip, you still get all that. Uh-huh. Whereas if you buy something, you might have that high for like 30 seconds until you get home, and then you put it down, you're like, okay, the high's gone.
Well, what if we go on a trip now? Let's say we both go to, I don't know, where do you want to go? I want to go to Italy. Okay, so we're both going to Italy.
Me too.
You
I'm in
you're
that
not.
trip. What? Oh,
No.
oh,
I mean, no, you can tag along. I don't care.
I'll fly us there.
But oh no.
If he's paying to fly us there, okay.
What?
Well,
What?
no, he's
No.
gonna fly. Like he's gonna be the captain of this plane. We're gonna be.
I want to be younger than 90 before we go to Italy.
That ain't
Ouch.
never happening.
Ouch.
So okay, we'll say we both go to Italy.
Yeah.
We all go to Italy, and you guys settle for whatever hotels do you want to go to. But I'm
Oh gosh.
going to go live in luxury.
Oh
going
no.
to Italy.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're gonna have
what
to
if you
dip
try
in
and
your
make a
retirement for that.
competition out of it like that, where you'd always try to one up each other on trips.
Yeah, you could do that. And at that point, someone's just being petty and trying to one up
Let's
everyone.
say,
I would
if you go
agree.
on a trip with someone, you're gonna want to go with them. So if you're at a separate hotel, or if you're paying for the more nicer expedition, you're never gonna be with them.
What do you mean you'd never be with them? You're gonna sit at your hotel all day and not go outside to go?
Well,
do all
no, that's
this
what I was
stuff?
saying, like the nicer expedition. So let's say he does a simple tour around Rome. You might want to pay for the aerial tour where you're up in a helicopter and you get a
Oh,
bird's eye view.
Oh, wow.
So that's where I'm
Okay.
saying, like, if you're doing that, there's
Oh,
no
I-
point in going somewhere with someone.
I would do that, by the way.
The aerial too.
Yeah.
That'd
That'd be wonderful.
be really.
That would be cool.
Cool.
But if he didn't want to do it and you did, just to one up him
Oh,
on the
okay,
trip,
and
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so if it comes down to I want to one up you guys on everything we do, which could take me away from hanging out with you.
Yeah. Or another example is a cruise. Pay
Okay.
for the different expeditions on a
Oh.
cruise, or let's say one ship gives you a special drink package and the other ship doesn't. He might go on the other ship that because it's cheaper, and you might go on the one that has the better drink package just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you get a drink package, is that just good for the room, or is that good for individual person?
I think it's for the individual person. But
Oh, that kind of sucks.
Because
Yeah.
if it was just for the room and you got a family,
Yeah,
and if you're trying to split drinks amongst two adults when the kids are asleep,
right.
you're not making as much money.
That's okay. They're probably still making a lot of money anyways.
It's cheaper to
To
live.
buy your own boat and have your own drinks.
Well, how big of a boat we talking here?
I don't know.
Cruise Talk with Josh.
No, there are people who is it? There's one lady in particular, and instead of living in a retirement home, she was living on a cruise because it was cheaper to live on a cruise ship than it was to live in a retirement home.
That would be kind of cool, though.
Yeah, there was a guy who just did some financial analysis where for retirement when he needs to, go live somewhere else besides his own home. He said he's going to go live in a Holiday Inn Express for $60-some dollars a night.
Yep.
Because
If you
a
get-
nursing
if you get-
home, it's like $180 a night.
Oh my goodness!
But at the same time, I'm assuming that place probably has continental breakfast.
Yeah.
Boom. You
Yeah.
get breakfast, and all you got to pay is for lunch and dinner.
Yeah,
They take care of all your bedding, all your repairs, all your
that's
toweling,
Wonderful.
all your toothpaste, toothbrush, all
your-
that.
No, was
You
it?
could- what if you could just load up on breakfast food and take it up to the
Yeah.
room and put it in the fridge? You could be set for at least lunch, maybe dinner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live in a hotel. What the heck? Why haven't I thought of this before?
No, at the same time, when you plan your money right, and you don't buy all the nicest things out there, and you put things in retirement, you can be like this older couple that we know. We're staying in their Florida home. We go down to Florida,
Oh.
and what they're doing is they're hopping in their fifth wheel camper. They're going to go to Waco, Texas, meet up with some other church friends, and then they're going to kind of do this big loop around the United States back to here in Wisconsin.
That's pretty cool.
So when you plan it right, you don't get all the newest shiniest stuff right away. You can enjoy and do trips.
So yeah, the one thing I really want to get, at least one day in my life, is an Aston Martin.
Oh no.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So what are some other things maybe you could do to
Cut back.
cut back? Because then I have a question after this too.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I guess it depends on what you're looking to get or what?
And is it wrong? I mean, it's not wrong, I would say, to buy stuff that you need, but
Right.
is it wrong to continuously buy stuff you don't need?
I would have to say that depends on the whole situation.
Well, that's why I said
Yeah.
continually. I'm not saying, like I said, there's stuff you need, like food, shelter, clothing, that sort of stuff, medicine, blah, blah, blah. But like, if you're continuously maxing out your credit cards, that's a problem.
Oh, okay. I guess if, like I said earlier, I mean, if you're like some like stupid rich person where money's never an issue, and you at least are responsible enough where you're not throwing yourself in debt or oh well I don't know the whole actual story of what was it, but Kanye West was trying to get a fundraiser for people to fund his lifestyle at one point
Oh,
course.
yeah.
because it was too expensive for him, I'm assuming, to even do.
This
don't
is
know. If that's the
crazy.
case, like that is just that's
That's
not
just
right.
ridiculous.
That's stupid.
But at the same time, none of us, we all have experience with, having so much income and only so much time. When you're making a lot of money, you also have a decent amount of time too. And you have to find ways to spend it. And they just don't know what to do with all their money.
I remember. Oh, what do we?
No.
Oh, I was waiting for what we're inserting here.
No.
I saw a video of, I think it was like Michael Jackson
Yeah.
with some, I don't know, security guys or whatever, and they're walking through, I don't know, some store of some sort, and he's just literally walking through. He's like, "Yeah, I want that thing, and I want that one," and then he saw like this, like, there's like a chess table of some sort, and this guy's like, "Well, you've got a chess table." He's like, "Yeah, no, but I like that one." He's like, "Well, isn't your other one bigger?" He's like, "No, that one's bigger, so I want that one. I need that one."
Huh.
And I was just like, that's a little upsetting. Kind of gross, I guess. Not,
Yeah.
I don't know, that's not a good term to use for it, but
Yeah, no, I get what you're
very
saying.
unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't, the only thing I can think of for, I guess, at least for myself, would be obviously making a budget,
Hmm.
which I've done, but I should probably update it more often. Cutting out things that are like not needed things. I guess, but well, Josh was at least good at doing it compared to me.
What?
But like when we go out to the Nash and stuff like that, I won't plan on getting anything. But then when you're there and like, so what do you want? It's just like, I guess I'll get something.
And
Just because I'm there.
And
Sometimes-
they're trained to do that.
No.
That's how they're
See,
earning more money.
and now the thing Josh, if you wanted to make money off of me, you need to become a waiter or a bartender. Because
Yeah.
when I'm friends with the bartender or a waiter,
Yeah.
I can't. Well, even this is the part where it's become to the point where it doesn't even have to be a friend anymore. Like if I just get good
Along with
service
Yeah.
and get along, like I'll just drop them money.
Yep. Here comes the $100 tip for the $10 of alcohol.
Yeah, right. You were great, man.
Like I get that, like if for like Christmas or
Well,
whatever
yes.
around there.
Yeah.
But like, oh, it's the 4th of May and I feel happy. So therefore,
take some money from me. You deserve it.
not even the 5th of May, the 4th of May. May the 4th
May
be
the
with you.
4th be with you.
So now if we suddenly start seeing a bunch of bars pop up all around town, we know we got some listeners.
Really
listen.
Oh, they got to get Aaron into their place first.
True.
So no, that's good. That again, I have something up from Debt Roundup and the budget thing. That's definitely one of the things
Oh, for sure.
that they recommend: eliminating unnecessary spending.
Yeah.
Do you really need that next guitar?
Yes. Okay. Because each guitar has its own purpose, and even though I'm not a professional touring musician, and I don't need a ton of guitars because I don't go out with all my guitars, and I don't need the next guitar.
Going off of how you said how I do a better job with it, one of the reasons why I won't go to the Nash And so I don't get anything. Because when I go, I feel weird not getting anything, taking a seat up at the bar.
Yeah. Well,
so if I go, I'm going to go.
Who's there on Wednesday nights besides us? Normally, 8 times out of 10. But like, yeah, if I just get a cup of water, I feel bad because I don't ever have cash on me. So because like if I just had like got water, I mean, I'd still throw them a couple bucks for a tip, just for the sake of waiting on me. But that's a bad thing about for having a card and stuff like that.
You never see that cash leave you.
No.
Yeah.
And then you go to use it and it's like, yeah, no, this decline. What? Where did the money go?
Yeah.
And then you look and you're like, I got to stop buying that and that and that and that. And then it's like the next week you're like, all right, I'm not going to buy it. Then 2 weeks later, I'm back here again. Not going to buy that. Not going to buy it.
And so that's another thing that they put on this. And this would be hard for me to do, I will admit.
What, use cash?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I hate carrying cash.
See,
I hate coins.
Okay, coins I can see.
Yeah, yes. But I mean, if I'm going to use cash, coins are going to come with it 99% of the time.
Getting change back, yeah. That's you just throw it in a jar.
Yeah, but they're jingling in my pocket until I get them to the jar.
Ugh, such an inconvenience.
Well,
yeah, it is.
If I'm somewhere and I get pennies and there's the drop bucket, the pennies always go in the drop bucket.
Oh,
or like tips or service. Pennies go in there all the time.
Yeah, I can understand that. Pennies and nickels, I could understand that.
Yeah, quarters are quarters and dimes.
Keep it the quarters.
Yeah, I say I try to have 2 jars set up, so whenever I do have change, I'll throw the quarters and dimes into one jar, and then the pennies and nickels in another.
Yeah,
and then at some point when I want to cash it out, if I feel like I want to, then obviously the idea is to wait until it's full, so get a good payout. But I don't know.
Sometimes you just do it.
I could use a couple bucks now. Go to the bank. Boop.
Yeah.
Money.
Understood, sir. Understood.
Yeah.
Other things that they say that you can use. Set your own spending limits for each category within your budget.
For each, okay.
So like your budget for the month might be X, let's say $800. But of that $800, how much do you spend on Nash? How much do you spend on this?
Gas and everything
and
else.
Can't you also have it to where it's set up in your account to where you can't override it if you wanted to? So
I don't know if my account I can't even do something like that. Like I can't set it up to budget it by a category. Can't do that. Is there somewhere where you could? Maybe, but Chase doesn't do that. So,
See, one thing that's great about summer is I can save money on gas because I have a motorcycle.
It's more fuel efficient, yes.
Yeah, until you crash it and then you have to spend money on repairing it.
Or you have to pay for tires, which is what I'll have to do.
Yeah. Other things they say you could do is appreciate what you have.
Now, I think the big part.
What?
I think
come on.
I think the big issue is how do you, because once everybody's used to something, they take it. They take it for advantage.
For granted, you mean?
For granted. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Okay, go on.
What's in the Powerade, man? So you take it for granted, and that's just a common thing for a lot of people. Is it sits there, or you use it all the time, and like that new value. So I guess the hard part is how do you make it? How do you get to that point where you can go, oh hey, I appreciate it again?
Well, one thing is don't have 5 billion items, so you can just cycle through to. Okay, so going back to your Kemper example, okay?
Yeah.
You got all these pedals in your Kemper. While you're using your Kemper, guess what? You really don't use and appreciate those pedals because you can do all of that modeling right inside your Kemper unit.
Correct.
Okay? Now, let's say we got rid of your Kemper. You would appreciate those pedals again.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, you have nothing else to do that with, okay?
Make those.
So you appreciate your Kemper because you're using it.
Yes.
And since you don't need the pedals then, we're going to minimalist land where you're going to minimalize everything, okay?
So I would get rid of my pedals and the
right.
other amp, and I'd just keep the Kemper.
Yeah. In minimalist land,
Yes.
because you don't need those other things.
I don't.
So
Until the Kemper craps out, and then I'm like, shoot, now what do I do?
Yeah. So it comes down to that whole thing of you have so many things, you're never going to appreciate it because you don't use them. Now, where I think where this is coming from is, Aaron goes out and he's looking around and he's like, oh, Kemper V2 is out.
Oh, no. Right.
Does he appreciate his Kemper V1 enough and use it enough and appreciate it and say, look, this is doing everything I need to do, has this cool new feature over here. Do I really need it? And I am beyond guilty of that in the tech circle because tech, it's that little incremental change can sometimes be like, oh, that is beautiful. And then I have to think about it. I'm like, oh, I should not be doing that.
Well, that's, I feel like, they come out with new phones. So averagely every year, at least once a year.
Yeah, most companies come out with a new phone model every year. iPhone does, Pixel, Samsung.
So, do they just, I would imagine when they're creating the new phone,
yeah,
I feel like they would, hold back certain things to use on a newer phone. So when they come out with a new phone and have a new thing to it, they'd be like, that'll make people want to move up and spend the money to get the new phone.
Usually not on the flagship phones like Samsung, Google, like the OnePlus, they might. They have this flagship like phone, but it's not a flagship phone. Okay. So some of those maybe other brands like Apple, they're going to put everything in. Full stop, in their new iPhone, because that only comes out once a year.
Well, I know, but it's so you don't think as they're designing a new phone, let's say so many people have a certain idea, would they put all of their ideas into that, or would they hold this would be an idea that would be good to have just put out later to make people buy newer phones?
I think they'll put them all because the reason I say is every year there's always 2 or 3 big things. There's always new things every year. So it's not like, they put out all these phones and then we only have one thing this year. If they did that, where they had a year where there's one difference, then I would go with your thing.
Okay.
But every year there's, all these different changes, but there might be one big change, that took them a while to develop.
Right.
But they're going to have all these other ones.
For sure.
You say, kind of in the car world.
What in the car world? What about it?
In the car world.
We're not it's something I said that triggered a memory in Paul.
No, it didn't trigger a memory.
We'll have to listen about that after. Cadillacs, Lincolns, they're always throwing the new best thing out there because they want to make the thing look the most desirable. Technology is advancing at a rate to where if you, in some cases, hold something too long and try to make it collective, new technology could come out to make that technology obsolete.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. And so they're constantly putting stuff out, say, hey, this might just have this, but it's still better than what was there. So, I mean.
Well, yeah, and say for how much advancing gets done in the whole technological area.
It's very fast. It's very quick.
There's always something new that's coming out that might not have been planned to get to anyway. So I mean, that definitely makes a lot of sense with technology. Well, I hate going to Music Center and then there's something I'd already been planning on getting.
Yep.
But then I know when I get home and my mom and dad would be like, "Oh, what'd you get now?" I'll be like, nothing.
They know.
Oh, how much was that? Not that bad.
Because they know, sir. They know.
Yeah, they know my taste and yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and unfortunately, right now, especially in the current culture, we're bombarded with advertisements everywhere that tell you must buy this to be happy. If you buy this, you'll be wealthy, you'll be sexy, you'll get the girl, you'll get the guy, you'll get whatever.
Yeah, for real though. I see. Well, I was looking at Mazdas with my friend.
Okay.
And obviously, of course, now anywhere I go on the internet, there's ads of the Mazda coming up on just everywhere. I'm like, why you got to do that, man?
Yeah, and they're going to be like, if you want to go on an adventure, buy a Mazda. You know,
exactly. And
you want to get the hot wife, buy a Mazda.
Buy a Mazda. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the advertisements, and that feeds into this whole consumerism attitude that we have here in the U.S., where, you know, we're one of the few countries in the world where advertisements for medicines are allowed.
Other places don't allow that?
There's a lot of places that do not.
Advertisements for medicine.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because what they're hoping for is that by putting those medicines out there, that you'll go to your doctor and be like, I saw the advertisement for blah. Can I get that? And then they will, in turn, make money.
Yeah, they'll make money. So, but why don't they allow that in other?
Because they don't want to. There's a lot of places that don't want that to happen. Where
They probably don't want an entire society on drugs.
There's that too.
Well, you know what? Drugs are good. Okay.
Oh, are they?
Oh, I know they're good. I know you enjoy them.
Oh!
Wow, that's an accusation. You need to
Okay.
back
No.
that up now.
Wait.
Man.
Did you know this from Professor Years?
Did
Did he teach you this as well?
No, when we were sitting in the hospital room when you're about to go in for your collarbone surgery, he was sitting there like a little kid, you know, about to get candy. He was like, I'm ready.
Give me that shot of whatever it is.
Okay,
he's got
so they
going
give
on.
him the
Pain
shot.
meds.
And right as he's wheeling out of the room, he just is like,
It's
"Ooh."
kicking in.
And you could just see he was just suddenly like, you know how people look when they go from something cold to suddenly into like warm sheets? They're just like, oh, they're just overwhelmed with comfort.
Yeah,
That's exactly what came over his face.
fair enough.
It feels great. I can't deny that. It was a very relaxing
Surgery.
feeling.
It was a relaxing surgery. Let's put it
That's
like
what it's designed to do, sir.
Yes,
That's what's
and
designed to
dude,
do.
Oh, it hit the spot.
Oh, I'm sure. So, I mean, you know, all those, yeah. Anyway, but, you know, all these advertisements that we throw out everywhere, I think that's a lot of where it's coming from, unfortunately. And it's just kind of tempting people to be like, oh, I need that. I need to go buy that.
Well, kind of going when we were talking about, well, I guess the language and music stuff, but it's just like that repetition.
Yep.
Because I say, as soon as obviously going on the internet and searching for something that, you know, ads that always pop up again and again and again, just keeps that in your mind. Then you're always thinking about it, and then
It alters your brain just ever so slightly
Yeah.
each time you see it.
yeah, it's not okay
But that's what advertisers do. They're using psychology
to get you to spend money
to get you to spend money. And then
make them money.
once you spend the money, they're using psychology again to get you to spend more money to upgrade to the newest version.
Yeah,
They add one little feature. You must now have this. Otherwise, you are now missing out on what everyone else has.
exactly. You're not one of the cool kids unless you get this.
They're, as you millennials say, they're tapping into that FOMO.
I've never heard that before.
Nor have I.
What?
Wow.
Am I just not a millennial? Hopefully. What? Fingers
I've
crossed.
been told.
There was actually a mayor the mayor of Grand Rapids.
What?
She used the term FOMO.
FOMO.
Yeah, FOMO, fear of missing out.
What? I've never heard that.
Nor have I.
The first time I heard this was we were at Life Fest, and your ex refused to go to bed because she had FOMO.
What? Wait. What?
And so, like, there's a bunch of us sitting around a little fire with the neighbors, you know, that we always used to have. And we were just chatting, and she was like falling asleep. We're like, go to bed. She's like, no, I can't because of FOMO. She's like, I have really bad FOMO. I can't do this.
I can't miss out on this experience.
Wait, exactly.
Your ex?
Oh my.
Oh.
Oh. I was like, you can't.
Oh.
It's not like there's.
That one.
Oh my god! You say it such a bad way.
It's not like there was a long history. It's not like he has a Rolodex or anything.
Right.
There's a long history.
Well,
No.
Me and having.
He has one.
Yeah, bud.
He has one ex. He is not Don Juan.
No.
Sorry,
Who
Aaron.
is Don Juan? I'm not him, but who is he?
Wait. Are we thinking about the same person?
I hope so, because there's only one ex.
Yeah. Okay. You're our mutual fling doesn't count as. Gosh,
that sounds bad. That sounds
okay,
bad.
Nope.
I'm adding a marker so I can edit this.
Wait.
I don't. The ex of that's in the band right now that you're in.
I'm kind of lost of where you're going now. Okay,
what?
The person that you dated that I had a little 8th grade fling with does not count.
Okay,
I've only had one person.
He's talking about the person he actually went to their father and asked for permission to date.
Okay, you know
what?
Why we gotta bring that up?
No, it's coming back.
Why we gotta bring that up?
This is why I added a marker so I can pull that out.
Oh, I mean,
So no, a Don Juan is a captivating man known as a great lover or seducer of woman.
Not me.
That's what I said. So Don Juan is a legendary Spaniard known for his seduction of women. So they say, "Oh, Aaron's a Don Juan." That means like the ladies are falling in line to get with him.
Womanizer.
Which we all know he isn't. That's what I said. There's only one. He doesn't have a Rolodex. He's not a Don Juan. Sorry, Johnson.
It's all right. I'll accept it.
There's no consumerism of Johnson.
Yeah, no, I'm off the market.
But yeah,
I'm not off the market.
Yeah, that's
I'm on the market. But okay, you know what? Yeah.
So that is a thing that Grand Rapids Mayor actually used that about
FOMO.
Yeah, FOMO.
Okay. Well,
it's a very popular millennial term. So,
well, I guess I'm not a millennial then because I don't use it.
You're young enough to be one.
Stop.
But advertisers use that to entice you to buy that newest thing, that latest gadget that has like one extra spring.
Yeah.
This one extra spring, you got to pay those $1,000 because otherwise you're going to be left in the dust.
Yeah,
I mean, look at it. Even culturally, people who use like iPhones, they get upset when someone messages them on iMessage and the bubble isn't the color that needs to be. Oh, they're an Android user. I can tell by the color of their text. Oh,
disgusting.
So all of a sudden it has this, idea of being so great because that's how advertisement made it seem to be.
Yeah. Well, Sam, when you talk about the whole fear of missing out, they really do get you with that. It's not okay.
I look at every single advertisement.
Yeah. I was like, do you think like you'd really be missing out that much? Like you can't be happy unless you have that thing that everybody else does now? Like, I don't know. That's sad. I guess.
That really is what it is.
I'll tell you what I don't like about Apple.
What's that?
I don't like about their phones.
What?
In that group chat we have for Sunday morning.
Yeah.
When they hit that like button and it sends you a text that, oh, they like this. I don't need to know that. That's annoying. So Apple phones, no. It's not okay.
My brain honestly thought you were going to say something else there.
Uh-oh. Well, depending on what it was, I wasn't smart enough to say it.
No, it's not very...
Now I'm kind of curious.
Later.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay, Josh says
He says later. It means later.
Okay, well, I'll accept later.
Yeah, so I mean, that's unfortunately just kind of how advertisement works. And I think that's fueling a lot of this consumerism,
And it's crazy to see what lengths people will go to get new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, the probably best example you could have for that is Black Friday.
Oh, yeah. People die being trampled.
Yeah, literally lose their life because they want the best deal, well, a deal on an item and just can't not have that item.
Or, yeah, they have to be the first one there because...
Camp out over, I feel like people have been camping out, depending on where it's at. They've, been there for a couple days, haven't they now?
Yeah, people come tents and everything just to get, a couple $100 off a TV.
Legit, just tailgate just to get a TV, yeah.
Speaking of TVs, I saw...
Uh-oh, here we go.
A thing where in your average household, there's more TVs than people in a house.
Well, in my house, that's definitely true. I have 2 TVs, and that's me.
Well, what if you can't port those?
Then
He's
we're
not a
equal.
person, though.
No, is that including computer screens? Because those can operate as a TV too.
I mean, it could.
If it operates as a TV, let's count it. And so other things like, contests and that, like this one, and I'm sure you've heard about this one, the woman who died. So remember back when Wii's were big and popular?
Oh, okay. I was
like Nintendo Wii.
Yes.
People like were lining up to buy them, and they were just out of stock everywhere.
Yeah.
There was a place that held a radio station held a competition, like basically drink water and hold your urine for a Wii. It was called Hold Your Wii for a Wii. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So this was in Sacramento, California. This was back in 2007. So like I said, back when the Wii was popular. So kind of old. So it was basically see how much water she could drink without going to the bathroom. She died from water intoxication trying to win this.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so she died a few hours after taking part in the contest.
Oh my goodness.
So it's not just like Black Friday where people get trampled in that. It's these contests like this as well.
Creative ways
where people are just like, I have to have that so much that I'm willing to put my life on the line.
Which, I mean, you're not thinking about that going into it,
No.
but that's what it turns into, and it's crazy to see how far you let it go. Like, she couldn't have been feeling good after a while.
Oh, I'm sure not. But I don't know that much about water intoxication. That's something you don't think about that often. Like,
see, water's dangerous too. Come on now.
Yeah. But you don't think about that ever, like water intoxication. Oh, man.
So have you heard of those competitions where, like, you'll win this car, like you put your hand on the car and you can't, whoever keeps their hand on there the longest and doesn't leave wins? I would kind of want to do that. That'd be kind of fun.
I'd go wear some Depends and go do it.
Exactly. And people are going to want to leave because you reek.
We had actually a competition for our store down at the lakefront, and it was getting a Focus as a lease, and a bunch of people put their hands in the car, and the guy who won pissed on the car because he had nowhere else to piss, so he had to piss on the car to keep his one hand.
He did not have to piss on it.
He said he really had to go, and so he
couldn't
pissed.
Look away and whoop. And
well, then he's pointing it at someone else.
Sucks to suck. They're there.
I don't know. Maybe his thought was, well, if I piss on the car, everybody else will want to take their hands off it. I don't know.
That does make sense too. I remember one of our mutual friends pissed on, it was technically our car at the time, but it used to be his car. Just to, I don't know, it was an odd request he had. And
he wanted to mark his territory?
Yeah.
You thought he was a little doggy?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a little doggy.
Camaro. Z28.
On his car.
Yeah. It was when we bought it from him, so it was ours. I'm pretty sure you were there because it was raining. We were in the garage. And then,
I didn't partake, but you two.
No, I didn't do it. He just did it.
I thought you did it.
I did not do it. He asked me if he could. He's like, this is kind of weird, but can I just like pee on it? I'm like, okay. And thankfully it was like raining outside.
It was raining good. No, it's coming back.
Yeah.
Did we work on the cutlass that day? Or did we just kind of, I think we just smoked some cigars.
See, that's another part about consuming stuff. Man, we consumed a lot of stuff getting that cutlass back together.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking like some other dangerous competitions that were out there.
Oh, have you found anything?
Oh. So there was one that was like overseas where it was the World Sauna Championships.
What?
The World Sauna Championships.
Okay.
So they sat in a sauna at a temperature of 230 degrees Fahrenheit.
You can do that?
Water boils at 212. And they sat in this sauna room and they had to hospitalize one person died.
Our bodies can do some pretty scary things.
Yeah.
How hot is your average sauna?
I do not know that one.
But you can be in freezing cold water past 3 minutes. You can do it. It's been proven.
Wait, we're talking about
hot.
Yeah, hot. Cold. And I'm talking about cold. I'm just saying.
Why are you talking about cold now?
He was like, how can And people can do that. Like how can you sit in that hot of a temperature with water boiling? And I'm telling him that you can sit in freezing cold temperatures and be able to still breathe and live. And I can.
I had a hard time doing the polar plunge after like coming back out of the water. The water was warmer than the air. And
yeah.
That sucked.
Okay. Mr. Brewer, you got anything else then about this wonderfulness of consumerism? Any thoughts, ponderings or rants you want to throw out?
Well, I have a 20-minute rant. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh.
No, I'm kidding.
I would edit that out.
Yeah, you probably would.
I'm in charge of editing, so.
And that would probably be a good few weeks worth of intros.
Depends.
No. I need to get all I can out of the ripping of the pants.
Oh my.
Yes.
No.
Anyways, anything else there, Mr. Brewer?
No, I'm good.
Nothing else you want to say about why we spend so much money? The dangers of it?
No.
Mr. Johnson?
Yeah. Keep on spending all that money. Keep companies going, give them your money, and that'll just lead to nothing but goodness.
Okay.
That's about it. Sarcastically, don't
I say
that.
My comment is do not listen to Johnson's last little bit of advice.
Don't listen to me.
Because that is exactly how you go into debt, go bankrupt, and end up homeless and on the street because you're like Johnson and is buying every little thing in the world and saying, ooh, I need the faster bike. I need the faster car. I need the bigger truck. I need the little car that can fit in the back of the truck. I want the pedals. I need this Kemper. I need this amp. I need this other guitar. I need this other bass. I need this other thing. I need this other thing. So
now I'm just getting roasted for the rest of this episode.
Ooh, that's a good game, actually. Roast or toast?
Roast or toast? How?
Later.
You'll have to tell me how that goes. Yeah. But otherwise, no. Spending too much money leads to stress and nothing good.
Yeah, and it goes, I can even take it down to the spiritual side of things.
Yeah, we can hit
if I'm doing that, I'm not being
content with what you have.
Well, I'm not even saying that. I'm not being a good steward with the resources that I have.
That too.
If I'm spending money left and right for every little thing, guess what? That's money that I can't use for other things, like when you were younger and I would take you out to breakfast and that.
Oh, yeah.
Money I can spend on youth group kids or whatnot. If a youth group kid can't go to camp or whatever, being able to shove some money that way.
Right. Other good uses of your money instead of just all stuff for yourself.
Right.
So selfish. How dare you?
How dare you, Mr. Johnson? How dare you? No, I'm just kidding.
Because I have other money to back it up if I need it.
I know. So,
poor example.
Yeah. So I think other than that, that's going to wrap it up here. It was a conversation.
It was something.
We'll put it that way.
It was something.
All right. Yeah. So we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. We are on Spotify, Spreaker, Blueberry. No longer on SoundCloud. Lo siento mucho. We are on Pocket Cast in their directory and just a few other things there. We are on Facebook as well. Use Your Words Podcast. Our website, uywords.com, which our mutual friend PH learned you could listen to the podcast from there.
What is our website for if you can't listen to it?
I was like, you can go in there and listen. And seriously, in all honesty, though, thank you for those of you who have been listening. What was it? Last week, we just hit the 200 mark, right? Right now, I'm looking at our stats. We're at 399.
Yeah,
so almost 200 in less than a week. We've had more downloads and plays in March, so in 10 days, than we had in all February.
It's pretty legit, yeah.
So nice.
So that's cool. Continue interacting with us. We'll try to post a little bit more on Facebook now. Josh will still be receiving smoke signals from those of you who want to send him smoke signals.
You don't believe in all that stuff.
And he doesn't believe in the Facebook.
Nah.
And that's fine. That's why me and you are admins on there so we can post stuff. And
we'll just post a bunch of great photos of Josh
Oh, I have a bunch of both of you I could use.
Nah, just Josh.
All right, so you got something to say?
Twitter.
UY words UYW podcast. Sorry, had to think for a second.
I don't know the tweeter.
So yeah, that's it. Next week will be.
What are we talking about next week?
Video games.
So the way I kind of look at this, these first few have kind of been like lead ups, getting you guys comfortable behind the mic.
Oh no,
getting you guys interested in thinking. So we're gonna do.
I still don't like thinking.
So right now we have on the schedule the video game one. I'm waiting for our mutual friend's dad, who might join us on the other one.
Okay.
And actually, he just messaged me. He won't be available until April 14th.
So for the time being, if any of you guys have some topics out there that you're interested in hearing,
yeah,
feel free to throw in a comment or a message and
throw it on our website, throw it on Facebook, shoot us an email at uywords@gmail.com.
What he said.
So right now, yeah, we're going to talk about video games next week and do they desensitize, ages should be allowed, etc. And that's going to be, this one might be interesting because based on the music one, I think I know where Josh is kind of going to go with it. And I might be at odds with him.
I don't know where it's going to go with me. I don't
know. Because of the last time when you asked about the music and should government, should they be responsible and all that fun stuff.
I was just curious on your thoughts on that. I didn't necessarily agree with it.
We'll see. Let's see how it goes.
Interesting conversation.
I hope so. And then the week after is going to be a very entertaining one.
I don't remember.
Oh, we'll save that one to announce next week.
Okay, that's smart.
And then in April, it's going to be a little bit different with some of us on some trips, but we're going to try to pre-record stuff all the way through forward, so that way we have stuff. And then May is going to be very interesting. Why the?
Because May is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I know what it's about. For
May is going to be, and I kind of hijacked and put this in there, and they don't get a say of no here.
No freedom.
This is the only May I'm going to do this. Next May, I'm not going to hijack it like this. Might touch on 1 week next May. And
fair enough.
And I'm doing this because it is important to me in that way. Fair. Mental health, especially in light of some of the stuff with the church and how even in the church it's looked upon negatively and not really looked at well.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting. And then just some other things. But Josh here is like trying to scoot out because apparently he has to go be a guinea pig for something. So I guess we'll have to end it here so that way Josh doesn't make all this noise as he's trying to walk slowly out of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else there? What are you going to say?
Just thank you to those again who've been listening. Have a good one. So we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye.